Steve here, and we're going to. This is the kind of forecast for April 1st, 2024. And April 1st is sometimes referred to as April Fool's Day. And if the numbers of your birth month, day, and year add up to 22, which mine do, that makes you a fool for this lifetime. So, in many ways, tomorrow's us Fool's Day. And yet, it feels like there's been so much good information coming in. Sometimes, like the session from yesterday seemed a little bit convoluted and kind of wandering around in a bit. But as I watched it a couple times afterwards, it had a certain cohesiveness to it for me. Now, if that happened for you too, I'd like to hear about that. So, yesterday was the a day of the white wind, the kin, the white wind. And today is the kin of the blue night. So once again, if you go to 13moon.com, and in the right hand part of your screen, it'll say Dakota date, Dakota birth date, maybe. And you click on that, and it'll take you and it'll say month, day, and year. And if you put in the month of your birth, the day of your birth, and the year of your birth, that will tell you who your kin are. And if you do that, then in the comments section, it would be fun if you just said, I'm a blue knight, or I'm a yellow seed, or whatever. But I'm going to tell you a bit about the blue knight. Actually, I'm going to let you see it. So we'll see if we can do it without too much glare. That's the blue light. And then I'll also read a little bit to you about it. I just feel like tomorrow's a very, well, through the night and into the day. So I'm doing this video on the 31st of March, but I did the card reading for the 1st of April. And I'm so it's going to be about, you may not watch this till the 1st of April, but it may help you to understand your dream world, so the night of the 31st into the 1st. Because the blue night, and it's really interesting as I read these to you, and I read them to myself, because really actually I'm reading to myself, but you're also on the other end of this listening to these as well. So as I read these to myself, I learn more and more about the Mayan calendar and the tarot cards. So Blue Night, which is on the 1st of April, is about dreams, abundance, and intuition. And so there's a statement from the Yawahu lineage that what occurs around you and within you reflects your own mind and shows you the dream you are weaving. So that's from the Yawahu lineage. So Blue Night represents enclosing darkness, the place of mystery, the sanctuary of inner self. The code Dream offers the perspective that the living universe is fluid and malleable. Unlimited creative intelligence, which shape shifts in response to our inner perceptions. Likewise, all that we encounter and everyone around us are dream figures within our dream. reflecting both conscious and unconscious parts of ourself. What are you dreaming up in your life? We have the ability to awaken at any moment and lucidly dream our waking reality. As we let go of rationale and find trust in our intuition, we access abundant inner resources to uniquely guide our journey through infinite dreamscapes. Blue night is directly associated with redeeming materialism by honoring the ever-present abundance of the universe's gifts. True wealth is not found in acquisition of material goods, but rather is revealed as the treasure of gratitude, acknowledging the blessings of plenitude that already exist. This heartfelt energy magically attracts that which fulfills our desires and dreams. So the Venerable Dhyani Yuahu, they quoted him or her as saying this: acknowledge the abundance in our life. It creates waves of grace on which to move in the world. Generosity means giving, and it begins in the heart by affirming confidence in the abundance of the universe. Abundance flows in a circle, so when you fear and think scarcity thoughts, then the flow of abundance in our lives becomes constricted. Generous actions from a generous heart bring peace and abundance for you and all in the circle. Recognize that you always have something to give, and then share it with others. I like those thoughts. Okay, so I do the cards in a Celtic cross, and so the card at the top is the 10 of discs, and I'm just going to show them all to you. The card in the middle, which is the group card, is the Princess of Wands. The card at the bottom is the Ace of Wands. The card to the left side is the Queen of Wands. And the card to the right side is the Three of Cups. So in this, we have two cards. One is wealth and one is abundance. And the one that is wealth is a disc or pentacle. I think they're referred to in other tarot decks. And the one of abundance is cups, which refers to emotions. So we're going to start off with the 10 of discs and see what it has to say. And let me know in the comments if it's distracting for you, for me to be going through the books like this. But I like to I read all these the pages about the cards that I pull ahead of time, but I like to just look through it as I give the information to you as well. And after years of doing this, I'll probably just go, oh, the 10 of discs, it has to do with wealth. But right now I look at it. And so the 10 of discs is wealth or riches, abundance, prosperity. So I want to remind you of just how coincidental and synchronistic some of these things are. So the 10 of discs is about abundance and prosperity, and the blue knight is about dreams, abundance, and intuition. There's a lot going on right now, and it's really nice to have these little reminders of things that we can be looking at in our worlds. So the astrological aspect that's represented on this card is Mercury in Virgo. It's through your communication skills, which is Mercury, and through your organizational skills, which is Virgo, that you can manifest abundance or prosperity in a tangible way. This card also symbolizes that by using your communication gifts, your healing gifts, and your inspirational gifts, you are able to manifest abundance, which is represented by the Hebrew symbols for abundance in the middle three coins. This is wealth on every level of consciousness: mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, and physical wealth. So that's at the top of the card, which is the card representing the goddess consciousness in the cross. And then in the in the feminine aspect on the top of the cross, and then the masculine aspect on the bottom of the cross, is the Ace of Wands. And so the Ace of Wands is a symbol of spiritual self-realization. So the base of all our sense of abundance is our self-realization of our spiritual side, of our spiritual core. And I would just mention the deep self. I connect to my deep self. Go in. The Ace of Wands is a symbol of spiritual self-realization, awakening, and is associated with the principle of truth and authenticity. Ace of Wands is the torch of fire, a symbol of the uncontainable life force that's within. The lightning bolts are a symbol of awakening to the spiritual truth and authenticity of who you are. Just take that in. Spiritual authenticity of who you are, connected to your deep self. Whenever you pull this card, it's an indication that you've awakened to the uncontainable and irrepressible inherent being within. So you've awakened to it. Not you're gonna wake to it. You should try to awaken to it. None of that. You have awakened to the inherent being within. And it's a reminder that in the next year, it will be difficult to edit, rehearse, or hold back any parts of who you are. The ace of any suit stands for the time frame of a year. And during the fire months of Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, so I'm pretty sure we're in Aries currently. It's important to stay in your truth and authenticity. This symbol represents an unwilling to abandon yourself and an unwillingness to edit, rehearse, or hold back your basic nature. This is a representation of intuition that is completely honored and trusted. The Ace of Wands is representative of awakening or seeing aspects of the self so clearly that there is a commitment to burn out any negativity, blocks, obstacles, or obstructions that might prevent you from actualizing your full potential within the fire sign months, or with fire sign people, or in the next 12 months. When you pull this card, it represents that the next 12 months is an important time to stay in your authenticity and truth and not abandon yourself. So that's the base, that's the grounding force of this consciousness. And to the left is the Queen of Wands. And I actually marked these off ahead of time, so they're going to be a little easier for me to find because I've got little things in them. So the Queen of Wands is the knower of the self. This symbol represents self-mastery and the process of self-reclamation. She wears the symbol of Pisces on her chest, the clasp on her cloak, as a symbol of the fluidity and the aspiration that is required to attain self-knowledge, an attribute often given to Piscean people. Her process of transformation and self-actualization is best described by the story she represents of a woman who, before she knew who she was, had black hair and walked with a panther by her side. As she began to discover who she was, her hair turned brown and the panther changed to a leopard. When she fully realized who she was and began to manifest who she was in the world with her pine cone wand, her hair turned fiery red. At this stage of self-knowledge, she pinched the growth marks of the leopard to prevent it from transforming into a beautiful lion, to match her self-knowledge because she wanted a reminder of the dark places from whence she had come. This myth represents the process of self-discovery and the splendor of awakening to the deepest essence of who we are. And the Queen of Wands is the mastery of self-knowledge. And then we move on to the Three of Cups. Okay. And so, as I said earlier, the Three of Cups is related to abundance, but cups are related to emotions. So emotional abundance is the abundant communicating heart. The astrological aspect of the Three of Cups is Mercury in Cancer. Mercury is the symbol of communication at the top of the card. Cancer, the astrological symbol located at the bottom of the card, is associated with nurturement. Mercury in Cancer is the ability to communicate the abundance of feelings that one has, especially the nurturing, positive, lighted feelings, which is represented by the golden lotus blossoms whose pollen has totally changed into light and fills the pomegranate cups. When you pull this card, it indicates that the next 3 weeks, the next 3 months would be a good time to communicate the abundance of feelings you have for 3 very important people in your life. Or it can indicate the next 3 weeks, the next 3 months is a good time to utilize your communication gifts in ways that nurture, comfort, and motivate people in such a way that it generates tangible abundance for you. And then the last card is the card that is the central card, and it's the Princess of Wands, and it's the central card of the reading. So you have the Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, the to the left side is the Young Feminine, to the right side is the Young Masculine, and to the center is the card relating to all 4: the Elder Feminine, the Elder Masculine, the Younger Feminine, the Younger Masculine. And so the card kind of uniting these is the Princess of Wands, which is about mastery of spontaneous expression and liberation. So the Princess of Wands is mastery of internal blocks, obstacles, and obstructions. She has a tiger by the tail. The tiger in some Oriental mythologies is associated with fear or blocks experienced within the nature. The Princess of Wands is a symbol of the free and liberated spirit that is within each individual. She moves in new directions without fear. new directions that are energizing, like her sun wand. She wears the Aries crown as a symbol of the pioneering and adventurous spirit that each of us possesses. The springtime is a season for renewal and new beginnings, which is represented by the ram's pedestal. The Princess of Wands has placed her old obstructions and fears on the altar and offers it as a spring sacrifice. So you may want to do that. You may want to write down on a piece of paper your old obstructions, were getting in your way, and your fears. And then if you can do it inside, but if you can, take it outside and have a small little fire and put your fears and obstructions in the fire and burn them. And you can have a little altar if you want where you do this. But she can be totally exposed and defenseless because she has nothing to fear. So, mastery of spontaneous expression and liberation. So, this seems like a perfect reading for April 1st. As we really begin to come into the strength of the spring season, where everything begins to come into bloom in this part of the world, and where the kind of the heaviness of winter, the heavy cloak of winter begins to come off, and kind of the heavy energies of this winter. So if you didn't experience them as heavy energies this winter, then just keep doing what you're doing. And if you did experience this kind of a heavy overlay over all the energetics that you felt like you had to be working with them, it feels like that is complete. And when I have a bit more understanding of this, I think it's a solar eclipse on April 8th, when I have a better sense of what that's about, then I will share that with you if that turns out to be true, that I actually have a sense of appropriateness of what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is your April Fool. You know, I'm number 22 in terms of adding up the month, the day, and the year of my birth adds up to 22. That makes me a fool for life. So when I say April Fool's Day, I can really offer it as a fool and say, have a great Fool's Day, because you're completely liberated and you've just burnt out your fears. And now let's go.